Hello, everyone. Welcome to Therapy Cove. This is a safe space of healing, self-discovery, and rewarding change. My name's Amrita, and I just love making mental health resource videos or podcasts for you all. Things that resonate with you, things that spark the beginnings of some important conversations. And I think today's topic is a very important conversation to have if it hasn't occurred within your family, or if you have some emotions about this topic. Of course, counseling therapy is always available to you to resource all that might be going on within. Essentially, I received this message not too long ago, and the message essentially outlines the discomfort with the individual's feelings for their parents' decision to leave their inheritance to their male offspring and leave out and omit the including of their female offspring. And of course, this is a very culturally fused topic because in the South Asian culture, like many other cultures, it is a male-dominant society. There is strong patriarchal patterns that trickle through the generations. And it seems when it comes to this subject, maybe there's some psychological underpinnings that haven't been chatted about before. Now, when we're exploring things, it's not for the purpose of justifying, validating, or excusing certain decision making, like things like this, which is a clear gender preference and bias towards one's male offspring. But it's just to kind of create space and emotional distance for the individual enduring something like this, so they're not feeling deeply emotionally impacted, and they're able to depersonalize the behavior and try to assess what's fueling the parents' decision making at this time. Essentially, what kind of goes into this is programming, generations of programming to create a certain value system. Now, let's say we all explored our values. Most of us, second generation immigrants, will have values of love, connection, friends. Maybe we might have some things to do with success and recognition. But for the most part, it won't be externally fueled values. Now, when we look at individuals who have gone through the hardship of moving across the world, maybe faced some barriers and challenges in their home country as a cultural group, usually their values tend to be more externally focused, meaning they place high value on reputation, wealth, security, and tradition. And this kind of can create a platform for tunnel vision. It almost really supports the notion that things should just carry on being done the way that they always have been. And the opportunity for critical analysis or opposing thought feels threatening or unsafe. Now, the reason that parents tend to follow suit of whatever's been laid out for the group or the mass majority, and they don't want to be the one person to push any buttons and go against the grain, is because it feels like a threat to their safety or survival. So this is variable number one. They don't have the capacity for critical thought to think about what they truly want to do with their decision making, and instead they are accustomed to following certain rituals, traditions, or routines, and they do so because it's safer to just go along with the status quo rather than make any waves by doing things differently. Essentially, it comes down to the primitive concept that safety is in numbers. When we are well liked, well received, and when we are a part of something, we are accepted and we belong, our community agrees with our decision making, we're most likely going to be safer. So this psychological wiring is very, very reinforced in the Punjabi diaspora because they've endured so many hardships through the generations. Variable number two is familial obligation and ties to the concept of a son being the heir, so to speak. And they have this concept that wealth should stay within the family name. Now, this can be linked to our agricultural roots. Because farmland has traditionally been passed down to their male offspring, there's a strong and heavy connection to the last name of the family, the surname. And so when parents are making these decisions, it almost feels unnatural or against their innate wiring to take something that has been in the family name and now spread it to a different family name with the presumption that their female offspring are married or to be married. Now again, none of this justifies, excuses, or validates their behavior. It simply adds context. What we can do with hardships, triggers, or activations is try to soften them by understanding where this decision making is coming from. Very often we can think that decisions are fueled from the level of care, the amount of love. But what if there's more to the story? What if these individuals don't have love at the forefront? All they have is tradition, customs, rituals, routines, and safety. And what feels safer to them is to just keep on keeping on with a pattern that perhaps is not ethical or morally correct, but it's all they know. And they haven't had the luxury to expand their knowledge base or their thought processes to challenge some of these things. Now, what we have here is an ample opportunity as the next generation to change this male dominant pattern, to treat our daughters with the utmost respect so that they too are treated like equals in this world of strong patriarchal values. If we can't control and change what's going on around us, there's one thing we absolutely can change, and that's what's going on within us. And in order to create that change, first we got to resource all our hurts and wounds so that they don't create maladaptive decision making within us, so that we don't have these unconscious biases pushing us into maladaptive patterns and tendencies. We have to stop this cycle of hurt people hurting other people. We have to adopt critical analysis and thought and challenge and push these societal norms that are really not serving the family unit. As we now know, times have changed. It is not just sons who care for their elderly aging parents in their big age. Anecdotally speaking, it is mostly the daughters. Therefore, why the differential? Why the male preference? Things have changed, times have changed, and perhaps it's time for our ideologies to change as well. What are your thoughts and feelings? Have you heard of this or experienced this yourself? Do you think inheritance, customs, and traditions should stay as are? Should there be a preference for sons? Or is it time for things to change? If so, what are going to be the small ways that you will parent differently? I'd love to hear your feedback and your ideas about this. And to the original sender of this message, I thank you for your vulnerability and your willingness to share, because sparking conversations like this is one of the only ways change can occur. God bless. Thank you, everyone.